The color of the leaves. Hi. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, wow. Well, I just finished talking to Alex, who is in Bellingham, Washington.
Yeah. How's he doing? Yes, I do.
He's freaking out a little bit about a research paper he has to write that apparently the rough draft of which is due on Friday. Oops. And he's still trying to nail down his topic.
I have been there.
And I have offered for I've talked to him about this a couple of times. And then he got some feedback from his professor like a couple of weeks ago. And then I offered to talk to him through it a little bit more. But every time, I should say every time, like 2 times we tried to line up a time. I actually even scheduled it with a Zoom meeting and everything. Mm-hmm. And he was, busy with something else. And I don't think he quite understands how my schedule works, where if you miss a window, it's not like I'm so important. Like it's more like I've just got a lot of stuff scheduled, and lots of different compartments in my life to try to manage. And so if you miss a window of opportunity from a scheduling standpoint, it may be a good chunk of time before you can get another spot, even if you are my son.
It's just go around again.
Yeah. Well, it's just because I just ran out of time. I can say, same time next week, but that's a week. And I would say something like, well, how about this week? How about Saturday? I'll set aside time because I don't schedule any work related stuff on the weekends. Well, he says I would prefer to not do any. I try to not do any work on the weekends. And I'm just like, man. I don't know what to do. Anyway, we reconnected today. He was kind of freaking out about this thing. Understandably, it's a crazy course. I couldn't even begin to describe to you what this class is. A history class. It's an honors history class where basically it's like the study of human, I guess not civilization, but humans since forever ago, primordial ooze kind of thing, all the way up until
back in the day.
Like, I don't know.
Last week.
Like maybe like 300 BC or I don't know, 500, I'm sorry, maybe like 500 AD. I can't remember exactly what it is, like somewhere in there.
Okay. The birth of civilization kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And so the topic, I'm actually pretty excited about how we got there, but what the topic that we got to, but how we got there was kind of a mess, and using Google Scholar and so forth. And when he first was starting to talk about what things to do, we kind of settled in on the idea of researching the effect or the contribution. So the sort of contribution of domesticated animals towards the success of certain or maybe a specific civilization.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot of stuff out there about that. Well, that's too broad, as it turns out. Okay. Yeah. Even trying to focus in because it's just, it happens over a long period of time and yeah. But where we got to today, I'm really excited about. Almost like I want to stop everything I'm doing and write the paper, because maybe I should write a shadow paper, see how mine turns out. Because now what he's focusing on is recognizing the relationship between animals and humans and how, yes, the domestication of animals gave rise to human civilization, how it also gave rise to bad things. like pandemics.
Yeah. Okay.
And how, and then focusing in on one specific, basically the first documented, like regional pandemic. They didn't call it a pandemic then, but it's like the regionally spread disease, which was the plague of Athens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, and then kind of circling
around what
back.
time did that happen?
It was 480 BC or something like that, or 430 BC, something like that. But what was really cool in the midst of like finding like, okay, well, how many citations are there for this? Like how deep could you dig? Right.
Right.
We found a couple of articles written by Anthony Fauci.
Hey, that's cool.
Right. I thought
Topical.
that was, I thought so.
Well, I mean, he's an epidemiologist. I guess it makes sense, but still, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and relatively recent too. So that was cool. That was pretty nifty. I'm sorry. I'm distracted because I feel like my internet's not great or something. And
oh, really? Well, you're coming through okay over
am
here.
I? Okay.
I'm not getting a lot of jitter or anything.
Oh, then I won't worry about it then because I don't want to be distracted. Anyway, so
organic jitter. I mean, like the jitter that you usually have that is just you as a person. That's coming through fine. So that's the thing. You're still jittery, but you're the Jason jittery, and I see it in stunning high definition.
I get that a lot. The jiggery Jason or jittery Jason. Actually, jiggery reminds me of something. Hold on, jiggery. Is that what I call it? Jiggery?
There's chicory. That's
no, it's not jaggery.
Coffee and jaggery.
Jaggery. Okay, so I think it's called jaggery.
Is that the study of jaguars?
It's also called. Is it called gur?
In England, they call them jaguars.
Jaggery. I think it's jaggery. Okay, so when I was in India, we were in up in the Punjabi area and driving out to the villages. So north, kind of, I think it was like northwest of Chandigarh, which probably means nothing. But
I know what northwest is.
We were driving crazy, like because that's what people do. Seemingly on the wrong side of the road.
No judge.
And we pulled off middle of nowhere. On the side of the road where these guys who had some kind of contraption, like mechanized contraption, like agricultural contraption that looked like it was built, I don't know, circa 1920.
Ooh.
Like, you know, like the and the steam's coming out. And they're feeding like what looks like sugar cane or something into it. And then out of it, it's like it's getting compressed and like boiled, and then the juice, the boiling juice, like comes out of that and then goes into something else and does something there, and then like it's a series of like pulling areas, and then it continues on. So eventually it leads into this. And by lead, I mean like a stream of fluid down into this like round, I don't know what the word for it would be, but like because it's like not that tall. It's maybe like not even 6 inches high. It's like a pan, but it's like a round pan built on into the ground.
Oh, into the ground. Okay.
And it just pours in there, and I guess they even it out, and then they let it dry. Right, and it dries, and then they chop it up, and like into you can get like
just made
pieces that are like the only way I can describe it is it's orange, almost like carrot colored orange.
Okay.
It has the smell of it's just sweet. Just smells sweet. If that makes any sense, like something can smell sweet.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But earthy a little bit too, and
sweet and earthy
and warm because it's still warm, you know. And it has like the consistency of like a fudge, but with like granulated sugar in it.
Okay. And gritty kind of.
And I'm eating this like, you know.
And you're supposed to. This is food.
Nowhere in America would you ever eat this. If somebody, you pull from the side of the road and you saw this happening, you'd be like, no thanks.
Have some gritty orange fudge.
There's flies, it's like the whole scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
It's so good.
Is it good?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm weirdly happy that it turned out to be good.
Oh, so good. I have it on video. I'll have to share it on our Accidentally Derivative Facebook page.
Facebook page, yes, indeed.
I will share the video there and the pictures of me eating this
fudge.
stuff. It was so good. It was so good.
I don't assume that you remember if it had a name.
I think it was Jaggery.
What the name was?
I think
Jagger. That's what you were talking about just now.
That's
okay.
right. I didn't completely just like go off on a tangent like normal. Usually I wait about 30 or 40 minutes in before I do that. But this was, I think it was Jaggery.
Whiplash conversation turn.
I could be totally wrong about
Jaggery. That also is not a terribly great name.
I gotta hope I'm not offending anybody. Today is the 5th day of Diwali, the 5th and final day of the.
We're celebrating it by talking about Jaggery
it's the Festival of Lights, which celebrates the triumph of what is it? Light over dark, good over evil, wisdom over ignorance, and it's celebrated in. In India for sure. It's a primary. What's that?
When is that supposed to happen?
Now it's like today's.
Are we still waiting for it?
What?
Because it doesn't seem. No, like
the celebration.
When the triumph of
smart guy.
Are we celebrating a future thing? I don't know.
You mean the triumph of wisdom over ignorance kind of thing?
Yeah, all that junk.
It's a process, man. It's also like an individual thing.
The journey,
too. I think part of it's like individual, your own spiritual journey kind of thing, right?
Cool.
I don't know a lot about it. I just know it like that, and I know there's lots of fireworks. It's it's a good time. Such a good time that it creates, because of the time of year that it happens. It coincides with when like vast fields of crops get burned.
Oh,
which
interesting.
It's not supposed to happen. It's illegal in India, but it's the most cost-effective way of turning the crops, and so that's what they do. And it between the crop burning and Diwali festivals and just natural, like they have 1 billion people in India, like
right.
in certain concentrated areas like New Delhi, for example, like the smog gets terrible. Like the equivalent of smoking like 20 packs of cigarettes a day, kind of terrible. Yeah. I got on the airplane leaving New Delhi on a particularly smoggy day. I sat at the window looking out at the runway. I couldn't see beyond the runway. It was that smoggy. And I kid you not, the moment that I was considering this, I was like, oh my gosh, look at the smog. My Apple Watch told me to breathe.
Yeah. It's like Apple Watch tried to kill you.
I don't think this is the best time, Apple Watch.
Because it knows what the air quality is. It's hooked into that stuff.
Let's wait till they shut the door, Apple Watch. So I think it'll be a good research paper.
Yeah,
and
that sounds fascinating.
But I'm probably going to have to touch base with him now every day for the next 4
it sounds
days.
Like you may not stay on task for very long.
Well, it's just a matter of I think the deadline is affecting him now, which is a good thing. It's good to have that feeling. Time. It's good to have that feeling. We've all had that. You wait until kind of seemingly the last minute, and then like the weight of it all.
And it can be a very motivating thing. I mean, I tend to find a lot of sudden skill when I'm under the gun, but wow, a research paper in 5 days.
But it's not that big. I mean, he's talking about it and he says, Dad, it's like 4,000 words. I said, that's nothing, man.
Oh, that's not too bad.
He's like, what are you talking about? It's like 7 pages. I'm like,
wait till your junior or senior year.
I know. I was like, dude, they're just easing you into it, man. You don't even get
indoctrinating
it. You don't even get it. He's like, well, it's the longest paper I've written. I was like, well, that says something about our school system, doesn't it?
And you're going to keep saying that over and over again.
I mean, he was. I mean, he's not really a social science focused kid. He does well in all the classes, but he excels in all of them. But he, he's, I think STEM is mostly kind of his focus.
Sure. Yeah.
So he hasn't had like a ton of experience with writing papers like that. So I get it.
Well, there's going to be papers in STEM too, though.
I know. I'm not telling him that yet.
Eventually, for my master's in information systems, I had to do a massive paper on Van Eck phreaking, which is a way of because I was kind of focusing on data security. And Van Eck phreaking is a way. Now, it's not as big of a problem now because we've moved away from CRTs as our monitors. But you would be able to focus like an antenna, like
what is a CRT? No, wait, you got to go back. What's a CRT?
Okay, CRT is a cathode ray tube. Is the old school televisions and monitors that use the big tube, right? And
they were heavy.
Thing that, very heavy. But also they have a little This has been a while, so the details have left me, but there's an electron gun in there, and then it uses magnets to focus the electrons and they make the scanning lines, right, on the thing, and that's how you see the image that you're looking at.
Okay.
And you can read the signals from that apparatus if you have a focused enough antenna. And you can read it from blocks away.
Oh, so you could read somebody's screen?
Focused like right on somewhere. And that's the thing is you're not breaking into the computer at all. You're just reading what's on the screen of the person's computer. So you can see, and it's not, it's not usually in color or anything. So if there's a lot of crazy colors on there, and that's the way they would try to, if they were worried that they being whoever, were worried that they might be a target of this, then the color scheme of the monitor would be set such that when you saw it on the other end, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the letters and the background. But that whole thing, I had to do a whole big paper on that, and I was like, this isn't what I came here to learn about other stuff. Dang it, I want to write SQL code. Not this. I don't write papers. Write in English? What is that?
That's how it goes. It's all part of the process. It makes you a better person.
Yeah.
At least makes you appreciate the people who have to do that for a living. Like you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah. That actually isn't so easy.
That's for sure. Of course, my bachelor's is in theater, so.
Well, you were well prepared for that. Then is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. Right. I was well prepared to improvise and make junk up, and I ended up getting a master's with those skills.
So the one of my teammates on my MBA team, there were four of us. I'll never forget the day that we were introduced to each other because we were assigned to this team, and we were on this team for the duration of the program, and we were the only team that began and finished with the same people on the same team. Like all the other teams either fell apart or traded people. Yeah, like some of them just spontaneously combusted. It was like a mess. Ours was the only one.
Gross.
And it was probably the worst possible group of people you could put together. That's why it was like the Bad News Bears of all the NBA teams, because there was me, of course, and I was a poli-sci major with some law school under my belt. Like no business background at all.
Right.
I had some budgeting, like government budgeting and strategic planning. That was about it. Okay. Then there was the guy probably with the most business-ish background was a sales guy. He had a business. He was like an undergraduate. He had an undergraduate business degree, right? Mm-hmm. But as a profession, he sold fire hydrants.
What?
Because it's a thing. Like there's actually a big business.
I guess it would have to be, but it's not something I would think anybody would need to sell.
Yeah. Apparently it's like, I know, what is like two companies just have to beat that other guy.
One,
right?
you know that you need one and you go and you get them.
And they're developing, anyway, sold fire hydrants. Or maybe it was even just fire hydrant components. Like not even the whole hydrant. Just
fire hydrants
like
and fire hydrant accessories.
And then there was that guy, and then the other guy was a perioperative nurse. Okay, who had been a medic, like in the Navy, maybe, I think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Then the final person was the director. What was he? The hell? It was the director of the director of I don't know, like customer experience, something at a children's museum. And he had his master's was in master's in fine arts. Basically, he was a professional puppeteer. Was his master's in like puppeteering.
He had an MFA in puppeteer?
Yes.
In puppeteering?
Yes.
That's a terminal degree. That's amazing.
And so that was our team.
What? He can teach puppeteering at the college level at that.
And people were so jealous of our team. Like, because we had a blast. Like,
Your presentations must have been awesome.
Oh, yeah,
you got the puppets. You got all kinds of stuff going on.
We had such great presentations. It was so good. It was such a great team. But so, I think it doesn't so much matter what your undergraduate degree is.
Oh no,
if you
not at all.
are moving on. In fact, sometimes I think having that major switch happen there's a benefit to that. Because you come at things in a very different way from your peers, and so it allows you to be creative and to spot opportunities. And there's something to be said for having just a little bit of just a little bit of naivete. Mm-hmm. You know, as not having been burned and not having been through that battle that somebody else has been through, or not having learned that series of case studies. Because you don't immediately spot someone else's solution to this problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like that. I like that. So I think, I think it's totally appropriate that you had your theater degree and then wrote about spies and tubes and tube spies.
The only reason I knew what Van Eyck Freaking even was because I read a book called Cryptonomicon by Neil Stephenson. He's a kind of a cyberpunky kind of author.
Well, I never guessed that.
You know what? I want to read about that.
Did you ever read Cuckoo's Egg?
Cuckoo's Egg? No.
Oh, you got to read that.
What is Cuckoo's Egg?
Cuckoo's Egg was about. It was this very early, so pre-internet espionage, like computer espionage. Incident, event, I don't know, like it's like a crime novel. It's like a mystery novel, but focused in on the very early days of internet espionage. And and this takes place during so this is I guess after DARPANet, but kind of just as really the only other institutions online were, so you had the military, you had government, of course, and then you had universities, but not all the universities, just some of the
no,
right,
yeah.
And so the whole Cuckoo's Egg thing is about how the Cuckoo's Egg works, right? Like a cuckoo's egg, the cuckoo.
I'm not sure I do.
The cuckoo lays its egg in the nest of another bird.
Oh, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. And then when the other bird, so when it's born.
It tries to be I'm totally supposed to be here.
Yeah, not only that, but I believe it gets worse than that. I think it actually will knock the other ones out of the nest too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. I could be wrong about that. That might be a different kind of bird that's a jerk, but I'm pretty sure. I know for sure the Cuckoo's Egg thing is about that's how they. Anyway, so you can imagine the whole hacking connection to that.
Okay, yeah.
Right? It's worth a read. It's not terribly long.
And was it by anyone sort of famous? Or
yes.
Just sort of one of those. Oh.
Why do you do this to me? I got Jaggery. I think it was written by Jaggery.
Oh, does that make Jaggery?
That was the guy who made
I can't get no.
Here it is.
Orange
Cuckoo's Egg.
Gritty Fudge.
By Cliff Stoll.
Cliff Stoll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was published in 1989. tracking a spy through the maze of computer espionage. Yeah. Yeah, Cliff Stoll.
Cool.
First-person account of the hunt for a computer hacker who broke into a computer at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory.
So in general, how do you feel about books told from first-person's perspective?
I'm fine with it.
Does it bother you? I mean, some people are just like really hate it.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with it, but
I mean, I didn't really think about it. I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure all of a sudden. I feel like it's just a trick. Is this a trick question?
That's not a trick question. Yeah, no, it's just some people really just will not read a book if it's told in first person. Oh, then you got Choose Your Own Adventure that's told in second person, like. Then you go over here, and then you open the door.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Go left,
I don't think.
Go right.
I don't think. Apparently, I don't mind. Look, I'm recommending the book, so it must not have
clearly.
had that
so it's
much of a scarring on me. Yeah, I think I'm fine with it. Maybe I prefer it. The hell does that say about me?
I don't know. I'm sure it says something.
I actually prefer. I actually prefer first person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like first person plural. I think that's my favorite. A lot of the royal we,
I live in that. I live in first person plural. What are you talking about? It's all we, man. Us. It's all us. What are we gonna do about this?
Like in fourth person. What? So, you sent me a text earlier today.
I did. Was that today or yesterday?
Was it today? I don't remember.
I think it was yesterday.
They squished together a lot. But yes, the fast food
Is this your way of saying I'm finished talking about something you clearly know nothing about? So let's move on to something that maybe you know something about.
I do not impugn your your knowledge of whatever it is you feel I might be impugning. It isn't.
I don't trust your impunity. Impunity. I don't think that's the right use of that word. Okay. So here's the thing.
Impunity.
And I haven't done any research since. I probably should have done some research.
On drive-thru food?
Well, in this specific circumstance that is related to drive-thru food. But
okay.
So we were going over to my mother's to watch the football game last night.
Okay.
And Henry, all day, he's my 14-year-old. Almost 15-year-old, which is crazy. But he was saying earlier in the day that he had a hankering for, he didn't use the word hankering, of course, because no self-respecting 14-year-old use that.
Did he hanker for a hunk of cheese,
They also don't punctuate. But they're not because, the hunker. The hank of cheese. I haven't thought about that in forever.
Time for timer.
Hunka cheese.
They get all wobbly in the knees. Whatever it is.
Oh God! Saturday morning cartoons. If anyone's wondering, Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, look up "hanker for a hunk of cheese."
Yeah,
look that up on YouTube.
And Schoolhouse Rock.
Enjoy.
Schoolhouse Rock, which I think is on Disney Plus, actually.
It is,
which is amazing.
And it's awesome
because I don't have to pull the discs out now. Cause I have the DVD, so I didn't have to.
Heck yeah, you do. Now, do you have? I worked at a radio station, an alternative radio station for a long time, and we had the Schoolhouse Rocks album. Are you aware of this? Where like bands at the time, big bands like Blind Melon and I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, you haven't thought of one yet.
They recorded versions of the Schoolhouse Rock songs, and they're fantastic. Like Blind Melon did "3 Is the Magic Number," and I can't believe I'm blanking on all the other bands that were in there. But there's some fantastic versions of these songs.
It's good.
Shot Heard Around the World.
Shot Heard Around the World particularly good. Was the start of the revolution. My favorite. My favorite is "We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and then establish
and ordain
liberty for ourselves and our posterity to ordain and establish. So there's something in there I missed. This Constitution. Yeah. There's a piece in there. See, I haven't studied the preamble in forever, but Schoolhouse Rocks gets me most of the way. But what a great way
to learn it, though. You learn it so much faster with that song.
Okay.
So anyway.
So he had a hankering
all of that to say drive-through food.
Some KFC. And I said, well, why don't you wait? Because number one, I'm not going out for KFC right now. And number two, we're going to be going over to your grandmother's to watch the football game. And then, of course, I'd hear him bemoan all of that. And then on the way, we can pick up some Kentucky Fried Chicken, which they don't call it that anymore. It's just KFC.
Country Fresh Chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, I know it started that way, but it seems like
they just dropped that. It's just KFC now.
Yeah, but it seems like they've kind of tried to act like it's not
Kentucky based
fried.
Oh, maybe the fried. Oh, I don't know. Well, then they shouldn't have shacked up with Taco Bell. That was the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, transparently stupid that they're even doing this, but it seems like for a while they tried it anyway. That was like, no, Country Fresh Chicken is what it really is, and country spelled with a K because that makes sense. Anyway,
I haven't. Well, I mean, I haven't done this. I don't do the drive-through fast food thing much to begin with, and then KFC drive-through, it's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Right? Yeah.
So I'm doing the drive-through, and I have a good plan. I figure so I get a lot of anxiety with food drive-throughs, basically because of my childhood, which I'll spin back to in just a moment.
Oh, okay, good.
So I've come up with coping mechanisms. And
wow,
part of that, but it's action oriented. I lean into it.
That's good.
I make sure I have a plan of attack. I've been known to do internet research to see what things they have before I go through.
Right. Because it's pressure. I mean, it's performance anxiety.
You know how I am about performance anxiety. It's bad.
You come up there and that sort of kind of hopper, and then oh my God, you're on.
So you get there. Right. And so it's a new place. It's not like McDonald's or something where I have a chance, but even that's gotten complicated with these digital screens that rotate. You're like, oh, I'm reading. And then it flips and you're like, what the heck? What? Why? Well, there was enough.
They split into two.
You had enough things to fill an entire screen to begin with. And now you've just flipped to a different thing.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I was reading that.
But couldn't you? Now I have to wait. Now I have to wait for it to rotate. When is it going to rotate back? Again, when is it going to rotate back? It feels like I'm watching that channel on the they still have in the hotels where you're watching the what's coming on next, the guide channel.
Yeah,
and you have to wait 17 minutes for the next. You're like, the show's going to be over. By the time I get to that spot, the show's going to be over. I can't. Why? There's no way to force it to go faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. So I'm there, and I'm one car behind, and I can see the thing, and my plan was, okay, I remember enough about ordering Kentucky Fried Chicken. I think I want to get family buckets. I remember that family bucket.
Yeah, bucket. That's
a bucket of chicken.
KFC thing.
Right? That's safe. I'm gonna get two just to be safe because I don't know how much is actually in a bucket. I'm just gonna get 2 buckets.
2 buckets.
2 buckets. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 2 buckets, and just to keep it interesting, I'm gonna get a bucket of original recipe, original.
Yeah, there you go.
And a bucket of crispy.
That. There you
go. I'm
how can you go wrong?
I feel like I'm prepared.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm prepared. So I get up to the window.
I get the sides or what nailed you, isn't it?
So I get to I'm one car behind. This is a long line of cars. Get finally 1 car behind with the order spot, and there's that preliminary window. Not window. Sorry, the preliminary directory of things, the menu.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
None of it's relevant. It's just all non-relevant stuff. Has nothing to do with the buckets or anything. It's sandwich, weird stuff. It's new stuff. I don't know. News. It's not helping. And half of it is about Taco Bell stuff.
Oh,
I didn't even know there was a Taco. Well, there was no signage saying, "Oh, this is also Taco Bell." But apparently, that's the thing. KFC's also serve Taco Bell. Sometimes they have it
like in general now.
Pretty much. It's hard.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So I don't know. I have an N of 1. I'm basing this research on. So
N equals 1.
I did. So I yes. The answer is yes. Fake news, yes. So I go. I'm like one car was. I'm beginning to panic, but I think I'm okay. And it does occur to me at this moment that I have to decide on sides. Right? Like, oh no. So Michelle says to me, and this is a problem because we already have this issue in our relationship where she doesn't really carry her weight when it comes to being in the sidekick spot and being in the shotgun position.
Okay.
Being in the navigator seat. There's certain things you're supposed to do in that position. Like number 1, not fall asleep. You can't shoot the bandits if you're asleep.
That's true. You can't shoot the bandits if you're asleep.
You can't.
No arguing with that logic.
When I say, "Oh, look at that," and you miss it,
and she's out.
I've got no one to talk to about it now.
True.
When we're trying to figure out where to go, you've got the map. You've got the entire internet at your disposal. Yeah. Maybe use it.
Sum of human knowledge.
Like, possibly look it up. Also, once we get the food, help put it together. Like
put it together.
Like if we're gonna drive and eat at the same time, how about you fix the sandwich? Yes. I once went on a road trip, a very brief road trip. It's like we were driving from like Baltimore to Dover, Delaware. One of my best friends and I. And I think this is one of the reasons we're best friends because I'm driving. We stop somewhere. Let's call it McDonald's. Get burgers, whatever. Back on the road. You know what he does? He pulls out the hamburger of mine.
Yeah.
He takes the wrapper and he folds it back upon itself in a way that I could never and then he hands it to me he even puts a straw in my drink and hands it to me. Like I have been gifted. I feel like I'm getting something from the gods. Like I'm being presented with this gift. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It's never happened since. Never happened in my life ever since. Michelle has tried because I've told her the story 16 times. And she'll now she does
that wrapper.
She definitely the wrapper needs work, but it's like she's definitely. I mean, you don't even come with wrappers anymore. Now it's like a box. You get a box. Like
God, yeah.
Like really, whatever happened to the wrapper? So anyway, one of the things she could be helping is figuring out what the sides are. Now, mind you, keep in mind, as you might remember from our last conversation, Michelle does not eat chicken.
Yes.
She has a vested interest in the sides. Like all she eats is the sides. It hadn't occurred to me
until just now that you guys went to KFC.
All she can
and a third of you is allergic to chicken.
But it's okay because KFC has good sides that she can eat. She can eat all the sides. So she can have
it's true.
Mashed potatoes. She can have the gravy because it's not chicken gravy. It's like beef gravy or something, which makes no sense, but whatever. And coleslaw, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That corn's pretty good too.
Apparently. So I get up to the window or right before I get to the order thing, not the window. I keep saying the window, but it's not the window. So rewind because I'm back there still ordering.
Strike that reversal.
Yes. Willy Wonka. And so I say, I'm about there. And she says, well, she mentions do you know what sides or something like that? Uh-huh. And I'm like, what kind of question is that at the last second? It's like you're about to go out and play the playoff game of the NBA. On the way out, instead of your spouse wishing you good luck or, knock them dead or whatever, are your shoes tied tight? Well, I don't know now. Why are you asking me this? So she says that anyway. Get to the order thing, and I say, yeah, I'd like 2 family buckets, 1 crispy, 1 original recipe. Can you hold, please? I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, okay, well, at least I bought more time. Like now, why did she ask if she could help me if she wasn't ready for that simple order? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm like, now I'm looking at the menu and I can't find it for the life of me.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
the worst.
I'm like staring at a Justin Pollock painting. Like I am like, I don't even know if that's his name. I think it's his name. But like, it's like.
That's Kevin Pollock.
I'm looking at this, I cannot, and you're telling me, like, can't you see the buildings in that? I'm like, no, I just see a mess. It's like a mess of numbers.
Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock, thank you. I had the right name. Yeah, it's his brother. He painted in numbers.
He did it all in condiments. Ketchup.
And I'm looking at this, and I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find anything.
I hate that.
I can't find the bucket. I can't find my options. I can't
Whoa,
find.
it's all gone. No buckets.
I mean, there's lots of stuff up there, but there's nothing I'm looking for. So then she comes back, and it shouldn't really matter. But at this point, I'm trying to find the sides. So then she says, can I, blah, blah. And it's okay. Well, the bucket, chicken, please, original recipe, and crispy. And what would you like for your sides? Like, okay, sides. Mashed potatoes and coleslaw. ×2. Okay. So drive around. I'll give you your amount when you get to the window. Like she's not even totaling it. She's going to give me the total when I get to the window. So, and I'm trapped anyway because you can't go anywhere. You basically signed your life away to these people once you're trapped in the drive-through thing. Like you're not. If you want to go, you have to abandon your vehicle.
Right.
Like there's no getting out of there. So I could get to the window. She's like $10 million. And I'll be like, well, okay. Do you take credit?
You can check.
Right. So on the way there to the window, Michelle's questioning my side selection.
Oh, Lord.
Like, why?
Can't you see you're in a flop sweat at this point?
Yo, you got both. You just got like 2 times mashed potatoes and coleslaw. You just got the coleslaw. Like what else? What else is there? Like corn and mac and cheese that no one's gonna eat.
Beans.
And I don't know.
Beans.
Baked beans maybe or something. I don't know.
I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's been so long since I've been to KFC.
I was just mad at this point. I'm like, woman. If you could have ordered. Anyway, so we get there, we get the food, pay for it, move on, get to my mother's house. Unpacking the food. They forgot a mashed potatoes. So I'm supposed to get 2 and 2. So I should actually have like I think I should I can't. I don't even remember how many I'm supposed to have. I just remember they forgot some. Okay. That's whatever. So we're opening up, taking the chicken out. Like this crispy doesn't look like the crispy I was expecting. Doesn't look like the crispy of my youth.
Right.
But whatever. I'm not going to complain. It's like it's been 40 years or something since I've had crispy chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's going to be extra crispy. This looks moderately crispy.
Well, so I'm complaining. Of course, this is me, so I'm making a statement like, this is not the crispy I expected. And my mother says to me, well, you have to ask for the extra crispy.
So there's
and I said, woman,
crispy's even possible?
What are you talking about? She said, yeah, there's the original and there's crispy and then there's extra crispy. I'm like,
oh, wait, no,
there's not. They're right. Yeah. Apparently that's what she's saying. I haven't done the internet research to see whether that's true or not.
Yeah. Because I don't remember there being a crispy. I mean, I thought the extra crispy was the other side of original recipe.
See,
those are the 2 sides of the coin.
No, apparently there's an in-between, which I stumbled upon. This in-between world.
Asked for.
by ordering incorrectly because I didn't know you're supposed to, why extra crispy? Why not just crispy? I didn't know I was supposed to say extra crispy. Why would you?
I thought that was because it was crispier than original.
Well,
weird.
But that's what I just thought crispy would be. I didn't know there was like you asked for original, that's not crispy. Okay, no problem there. And you ask for crispy and you expect the crispy.
Oh, right.
Why would I ever say extra crispy? And here's the thing. If there's extra crispy, maybe when someone's ordering original recipe and crispy, maybe you could get into the habit of saying, do you mean extra crispy or crispy?
Hey, how crispy do you want it?
I mean, because then I'd say, well, I didn't know there was an option.
I honestly thought it was just the two.
Oh, I don't even know. Maybe it is.
Until
I don't
today,
know.
I didn't know that there was just run-of-the-mill crispy.
I don't know either. Maybe my mother doesn't know what she's talking about. But what I do know is that this crispy looked nothing like the crispy I thought it would look like.
So the evidence is that she does know what she's talking about.
Right. The crispy I was looking for was had almost the same color as the background you have. It's almost like a pale, you probably shouldn't eat
and
this.
And it's almost as much skin as there is chicken practically because it's so crispy.
It's thick.
It's thick. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love that.
Oh, and it's delicious.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And instead I got this, imagine original recipe just with some crispiness to it. It's and it's color. The color's not right. It looks more like original recipe color.
Right. Okay.
And I just don't understand.
So it's kind of neither original crispy.
I mean, it's
original
crispy
recipe or extra crispy.
It's crispy.
So it's kind of somehow dissatisfying because of neither one of those
I
things.
was just upset. I don't understand why you would have
mouth, sort of middle of the road kind of crap.
And why you would make a bigger deal about it. If you're going to actually have three choices, original crispy and extra crispy.
And I would also assert that when you say, I want 2 buckets, 1 extra, or 1 original recipe, 1 crispy, that sounds like you're acknowledging the fact that there are 2 choices and you want 1 bucket of each. And it seems like that's leaving something out. And you're like, oh, and you don't, because you would want to clarify at that point, I would think.
I mean, I think this is why this is why you and I aren't allowed to work at KFC.
That may be. There may be a business
we would be
reason that's a bad thing.
The manager would come to us and say, "Guys,
you are wasting way too much time clarifying things.
You just give the people food. They just want to go." Are you familiar with the concept of fast food?
Right. The fast part.
You're overthinking it.
If they ask for it and we have it, give them that. Only get into follow up when they ask for something we don't have.
But the problem, I get so worked up going through the drive-thru, totally because of my mother.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because she this. There's so much bundled up in the drive-thru experience. There's that expectation. I need to know exactly what I need to order the moment I'm at that order spot.
Right.
Because God forbid, I either indicate to the person taking my order that I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe this is my first time. Or that I'm confused by their cornucopia of options. Or that I may be holding up the person behind me.
Yeah.
Because can't do that. Right? There's all that pressure, right?
Right.
But then there's the pressure of also making sure that I don't sound like an idiot.
That's the real pressure right there.
And that runs deep because, and it probably isn't fair to say idiot. It's more like, well, how about I tell you the story and then you can decide what you would call it? Because I have this memory of in Baltimore, actually is in Rosedale, probably on the way home from my older brother's like baseball game, something, I don't know. We're driving down Philadelphia Road in Rosedale, just outside of Baltimore. And we're going to the Burger King on Philadelphia Road. It's actually between Philadelphia Road and Pulaski Highway. I'm giving these references for the one person who may like geographically understand what I'm talking about, and they're going to think like, aha! And just to go there, I mean, I primarily would want to go to Burger King because I wanted to get the Star Wars glasses if they had them.
Heck yeah.
Right? So we go through the drive-thru on this one occasion. And I say it must have been like something my brother was doing, because I remember I was in the back seat, and I don't know whether I was in the back seat because I was just too small to be in the front seat. Probably not, because it was probably early 80s, late 70s or something, and no one cares about that anymore. I mean, back then they didn't. But I think it was probably in the back because someone else, my brother or something, was in the front. Anyway, so driving through this drive-thru, Burger King drive-thru with my mother. What does Jason want? I want like chicken fingers or whatever they called them there, right? She gets to the order thing. She asks for McNuggets.
At Burger King?
Yes. I start screaming at her from the back of the car. No, you can't do that. You can't order McNuggets at Burger King. You can't do that. They don't have McNuggets. What are you doing?
The Mick is the clue there.
No, you can't do it. No, right?
Right. Mortified.
I am so mortified. Dude, I kid you not. I'm so mortified that I go and hide on the floor of the back seat. I like covering my head in shame that I would be associated with this person that is ordering McNuggets at the drive-thru of a Burger King. So now you understand.
That has scarred you.
Here's
to
the
this
thing,
day,
like
you go into a panic every time you go to the drive-thru.
I don't think that scarred me as much as I think that was like the crowning achievement in a series of scarring events. Like there's no way.
It's like scaffolding. It was sort of layered on top of layered, and then that.
I mean, there's no way that
sent you over the edge.
Me on my own would have felt that level of shame.
Right.
Over getting an order wrong. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I had some experience in this department before I got to Burger King that day.
That was some groundwork laid.
Right? Like, and I wasn't that old. I was in the backseat and able to fit on the floor. Like, and I was getting nuggets. Like, this is not a problem that like I had it as a 14-year-old. Although I would probably get nuggets then too, but still, like that's so. When I go through a drive-thru, I like to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. Like I just like
give me the number one.
Yeah, not one. I'm not big on the.
The numbers.
Like I don't like because even then you have to know like okay wait what's the number one? It's the number one. I don't know. And then oh my god, and then people
like what size do you want? It's like oh Lord.
And then Michelle sometimes she'll do like she doesn't do it as much anymore, but she used to do this like Jedi mind stuff like you get up there. Oh, this is so emasculating too because we would be ordering something. So there was a drive-thru inside, and she would correct my order.
Oh,
like, no.
In front of the person?
Yes, you're going to get this and that because
Woof.
You'll save 17 cents if you order it this other way. And she's looking, and like the person taking the order and her, they're like connected. They're like, yes, this is the way. Like they get it. Like,
right.
You're like, yes.
Safeguarding your dignity was worth less than 17 cents.
Right. That's my point. That's my point exactly. I'm like, maybe you could just leave this like.
Let me have this one.
And probably you're just contributing to my anxiety the next time I'm ordering fast food, because now I'm worried. Like, am I ordering it the right
time? I'll do it.
Am I ordering it the right way? Like, now I feel like I'm in South America again, handing my like wad of cash over for my Agua Sans Gas. Like, I don't know, it's like, here, whatever. Just take the money out of my hand, please, like a little child.
Right. I have this money. Take
this is why it's like
it's
such a blessing. For me, it's such a blessing to be able to go online and pre-order food.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love it.
We did Chinese through the Uber Eats last night, and it's great because you have plenty of time to check out the menu to weigh things. Yeah,
I don't have to feel judged to what I'm ordering.
Right, exactly. The person's like, seriously?
It's like, wait, did I get too much or not enough? I don't know which.
What knowledge do I not have?
Right.
What do you know that I don't?
I can hear you rolling your eyes.
But man, that something you touched on earlier about not being able to find the sides on the menu. That's something that happens to me so much in whatever restaurant. And they're like, and what you get, what 2 sides do you want? And suddenly it's like, I didn't notice that there were sides on the menu before. And now I'm in a, kind of like you said, I'm in this sort of under pressure here to be quick about this. And so I'm scanning the menu with my eyes, trying to find where the sides are. And they're never somewhere you would want them to be, like next to the thing that they come with. They're over there by the beverages, and the desserts for some reason. And all at the bottom and like in a different font and maybe, and it's not a list. They're each right after another in sentence fashion with just a dot between them. And so your brain is looking for a list. You're looking like for bullet points, right? You're not finding it. That pattern isn't registering in your head, so your eyes don't go to it. But it's this like a sentence, and instead of a space between like baked beans and cauliflower or whatever, there's just this dot, and so it's just, maybe 2 or 3 lines of that. And so you don't see them, and they're very small. And then it's just like, I end up having to go, what do you have?
I know.
And they look at you like they're right there on the wall.
They look at you with such disdain.
Where they are on the wall.
They're like,
this guy, you know how many times I've listed these sides off today, buddy?
I mean,
I haven't memorized at this point, because of course I do.
I do that to people I know. Like, they go to a place. I just did it to Carlos last week, because they go someplace and they say, what he wants to get a beer, and then I'll ask, like, well, what do you have? Like,
nice work, pal.
It's right there. Like, it says alcoholic beverages right there in the app, because
right.
Like Disney and everything's on that. Like, it's right there. Guess what? It's in the same spot. All the menus, all the places.
Yeah, standardized.
It's right there. They're not going to remember.
Headings and everything. Collapsible headings. So you see all the headings at the same time. You can just open the one.
I can say this because there's no chance of him listening, so it's fine. So,
right.
People do this all the time, and they'll say, well, or they'll say, what do you have? Like, to drink. You're at a bar. They have everything. They have everything.
You name it. They got it.
I think this happened with my mother when we went to dinner at the Wave, and she's like, oh, well, like, what do you have? Kind of, and she didn't say exactly that, but it was kind of the same deal. I'm like, it's the whole bar. They have the whole bar. Anything you can dream up, they can make.
Right.
Give it a shot.
Singapore sling. They got it.
Right.
I don't even know what that is.
They can make it.
I just remember it from the TV show The Master, which was Lee Van Cleef as a ninja master from the 80s. I remember him saying that. I don't know why that is burned into my head, but the Singapore sling
the Aegean
is something
scaffold,
that he used to drink.
Please. With a...
I'll have a Toledo mud pie.
Things on the side that are just sounding offensive and I'm just gonna, the cultural. I'm just gonna move away. So the sides they do it on purpose because it's not that they want to try to hide it from you. It's that those items just come with it, and so they're not going to give they're not giving a lot of real estate to something that just comes with something.
Yeah.
But from an efficiency standpoint, they would actually save a lot of time if they did call it out.
Yeah.
I just don't understand.
And sometimes they don't even tell you that the thing comes with sides. You're not even prepared for that question at all.
Well, they had that in little. That's in like little letters too at the top. Usually, like these items come with
two
sides.
Oh, well, why didn't you tell me this? I would have been prepared for this question had you informed me that it comes with two sides. And then or something. And sometimes they come with three sides, and it's like nobody in their right mind wants three sides. The Four Rivers barbecue over here. I went in there and I got the barbecue plate, and they're like, "What 3 sides do you want?" 3 sides, and there's like 5 choices.
New York City.
But so I was like, "Okay, I'll have the baked beans and the baked beans, please."
Whichever one you're gonna forget to put to include.
Give me 2 of that one.
So, what's worse, maybe more embarrassing, is when, of course. Usually people outside your head don't know it. It's just the people inside your head who know this. That's right. That audience in there. Come on. You all have it. Everyone has that little audience that you're like performing
this isn't
for.
Anything nobody went
all the time.
On that.
People, I'm talking to myself. No, you're not. You're talking to those people. You know they're not real. We all know they're not real. Well, some people don't know they're not real, and that's a different thing. But most people, you carry these people around with you. You've had them all your life.
And they know you.
Yes.
Boy, do they know you.
So you look at the menu and you're thinking to yourself, you know this. Did you know you got to pick sides? You know it because you've heard other people.
Yeah.
So you pick it, and you pick the thing that you're going to get. You've been sitting there with the menu for 15 minutes. You've done your homework. You figured it out. You're even proud of yourself because you figured it out before these other people around you. And you've got your sides. You're going to look. Anybody who forgets that or doesn't notice that they can order sides, you're going to mock them right. This is your chance. You close the menu up, you set it down, you're ready. You come to the table. Because you're the man, they're not going to ask you first unless you're at a flimsy place, in which case then they're going to ask you. But if you get some semblance of a nice place, like even JR's, for example, like something, they're going to go to the lady first, right? And so that happens. Mm-hmm. They get to you, maybe 1 or 2 people later. In fact, there's that moment where, they say, what would you like for your sides? And your significant other is like, oh, and then you go, honey, it's right there.
I get sanctimonious about it.
Right. Hey, they get to you.
Forgive her. She's apologizing for her to the waitress.
Oh no, the best is when they'll say she's like, I don't know yet. I've been sitting with this menu for 16 hours. Time's not right. I don't know yet. Start with him. Start over there. Start with those people. Yeah. Start with those. Screw those people. I don't like them anyway.
What is the extra 10 seconds going to get?
That's what I say. So then, and I'll make a statement about that sometimes too. I'll deliberately well, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, I bought you some time. There you go. Right. So, but eventually they get to you. And at that moment, this is me. So maybe it's just me. It gets to me.
I have a sneaking suspicion it's not just you.
I don't remember
I
what I'm
what's
getting.
Coming. Yes.
I have no idea. I like
completely blank.
I like food. Yeah, food's good. I have some food. You get. Do you have stuff that I can eat here?
I have to get this. Now I got to open the menu again and find the thing.
Oh, I just wanted to order it without opening it again. Just this one.
I can't do it.
Just this one time. Just this one time.
And the thing is, I might even actually remember it, but I have zero confidence that I have remembered it.
Wait, what if I
And so to hedge my bets, I just have to open the menu again and find it.
What if I say McNuggets? What if I open my mouth and McNuggets come out? So
I think that's what if I open my mouth and McNuggets come out?
I mean, so I'm like, so you have to open it up.
Yep.
And then look, and you're looking, you're
it.
like, of course, like there it is. Of course, I remember what it is. And then, and even on the occasion where you do remember, they always get you with something. Like they'll say,
you didn't realize.
Like they ask you all sorts of questions trying to trick you up. Like, how would you like that prepared? How would you like that cooked?
Yeah.
How would you like that? How would you blah, blah, blah. And then usually the kicker is when they get to the salad and they say, what kind of dressing would you like? You're like, I didn't prepare for dressing.
And that's a rough one too, because nobody has the same dressings. Everybody's got a ranch, but that's it.
And I don't want
None
ranch.
of the rest of them are standardized.
Right.
You're like, do you have Italian? No. Well, do you have any kind of vinaigrette? No. Well,
we have all of them. We have all of them. We have all of them. Well, how about a buttermilk ranch? No, well, we don't have that. How about Thousand Island? Never heard of it. Like
about 350 Island.
How about some ketchup and mayonnaise and just bring it to the table? I'll whip it up myself.
You just spritz it with vinegar. I don't care. Just
yeah. Oh, well,
I'm not going to eat it.
I don't feel I feel better about myself a little bit now, knowing that you struggle sometimes too.
No, it's now your turn to order, and then the completely outside of your, spills all over the table, gets on the floor, but it does not stay in your head, and you have to end up going back to the menu. Yeah,
you do every time. You do realize though that the next time you and I go out to dinner now, we will not be able to order with a straight face. As soon as they
two
say
basket cases.
what would you like? You're really like,
the thing in the sides. Why do you have sides? There's no mention of it in the.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen for sure.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I mean that kind of. I'm trying to think if there's any other situations where you're under that kind of pressure. I think that's pretty much it. I think the drive-through window. I think the drive-through window is probably more stressful than almost any in-restaurant ordering situation.
Yeah, I can see that, because if everybody's in cars, there's this sort of like time being a factor is a lot more apparent there. So I can see an added pressure there. I tell you, another, and maybe it's pressure in this case too, but another situation where I have zero confidence in my short-term memory is, and I don't play poker like a lot, but like when you're playing Hold'em and you got the two cards and you look at your two cards and you put them down, these people that don't ever pick up their cards again to look at them, I don't understand that. I can't remember, like I put them down and I immediately forget what they are. I have to look again. And it's like, and I will look at my cards like 25 times through the thing. And I'm hoping that other people are taking that as some kind of a tell. Because it doesn't mean anything. I just don't remember what the heck I have. And that people are like, I got him. Nope, I do it with good cards. I do it with bad cards.
You want to make sure the good cards are still there. Like you're still there.
Right.
You're still there.
This didn't turn into a 3 and like that card that shows you the rank of the hands. I got that. What is that? Is that Big Stupid, or what's the name of that hand?
No, I'm exactly the same way. And it goes beyond, but for me, it also goes to silly things like, did I shut the burner off?
Yeah.
Did I lock the door? Did I leave the dog outside? That's the worst. Did I leave the dog outside? We just left. Did I leave the dog outside?
Yeah. Ooh. And like leaving your house. So many, like especially on a trip. And then you're like, well, now there's all kinds of things that I probably didn't do that I was supposed to do.
So I've created a system for most things where, I pretty much have ensured that my family doesn't die unnecessarily.
Good priority there.
Right?
Unnecessarily.
And, but this started
Make sure
when I was
that they die with honor.
I was a kid. When I was a kid, like I would be the kid who was like, I'd be halfway to my friend's house on my bike and have to turn around to go back to make sure that I actually had locked the door.
Right.
I don't know. But you know what?
I think that's part of my obsession with smart home stuff is because now I can check that stuff from way across.
From my bed, I'm laying there like, look at that. Door's locked.
Garage is down. We're good.
Like, yeah, it's all good. Now you can't check the burner.
I can check the burner.
Well,
my goofy, because when I bought the thing, I got the oven that has oven. Like Wi-Fi or whatever. But the hilarious thing about it is I can't do anything about it. Like I don't have the ability to turn the burner off.
Your house is going to burn down.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, well, this is worse because if it is on, then all I can do is stare at the fact that it's on until my house burns down.
Well, no, then you do you have like a camera inside you can like turn on or find like
not on the
camera to face the
not
kitchen?
Not close to the oven. No, I probably will now though.
Yeah, you do what you should have an oven. Invest in an oven cam.
Oven cam.
Yeah, you don't want it to. People will question like, why is your camera facing your stovetop? Like, well, let me talk about it.
If you think about it really hard.
Yes,
you'll figure it out.
But for me, like I like the universe put Michelle and I together for a reason because I am neurotic about these things, and she actually likes to catch things on fire.
She's like, yeah,
oh yeah. You come to my house when you'll see like I'll show you the various things that are meant for being on the stovetop or near the stovetop but aren't meant to catch on fire, but have.
Somehow they
have melted.
Oh, fun.
Yes. Or like there's also, I mean, the garage door was a big one. That when we finally got the garage door. Now here we don't have that, but in California, no, not the fire, but the garage door that closes, like that you can check from afar that whether it's closed or not. Because like she was notorious for it. And I would get a call the call from the neighbors saying like, "Oh, Jason, you left your garage door open." Like, well, no, I didn't. But thank you.
Point of order, sir.
And then the moment I could shut it, I was like, yeah, shut it. And it's just like little stuff like that, like fire, safety, things like that.
Little fire safety things.
Little things. Not being poisoned. Small details.
Metal not going into someone.
I like all these systems. I feel like what was the M. Night movie where was it Signs? It was Signs, right? At the end of the movie, you figure out, and it's a spoiler alert for those of you who haven't and probably will never see the movie at this point.
The
at the end of the movie, you figure out like, oh, this is like this little girl was leaving glasses of water everywhere,
right? There's
and
like
she
20
had the breathing thing
endings.
and stuff, right? Like, right?
And the baseball bat and
I am like the actual embodiment of that whole thing. Like
that scene.
Like I was brought into this world, this neurotic, obsessive person, constantly vigilant and worried about everything. Like, and then I finally found a use.
This paranoia.
Like, oh, look, there's a use for it. It's wonderful.
The universe needed a control rod for Michelle, and they gave her you.